Hello everyone and welcome to episode 2 of our Dirt Rally playthrough. In the last episode, instead of dipping our feet into the pool to get acclimated, we just full sent an economy car through the finish for us because that's how we like to get down. But we ended up winning our inaugural rally, which is saying something. But today we're going to switch gears and tackle Rallycross, the sister sport to traditional rally. Instead of testing our skills alone on a stage with just me and my co-driver, we'll be battling on a mixed surface short track against 5 other drivers at once. It's definitely a different kind of intensity, but just as wild and adrenaline pumping as normal rally, if not more so. Up first, we got to see what car we'll be starting our Rallycross career in, and just like last episode, we've got quite a few options. Everything from mid-80s Group B monsters to 600 horsepower modern-day supercars. We're going to get there eventually, but to start off, we're going to be hopping into the Opel 1600, a lightweight front-wheel drive little beast with plenty of spirit to rip up some dirt tracks. Before we get on track, we're going to choose our livery for the car, and after looking at all of our options, I was really vibing with that yellow that we just passed. There it is. So, Operation Yellow Jacket is ready to go, and we're going to look ahead at some of our tuning and upgrade options, and as you can see, our engine mapping is already maxed out. I promise y'all, I did not play this game without anybody looking. This is just this car that they give you at the start of the game. So it's already fully upgraded, fully durability upgraded, and side note, all repairs throughout a race weekend are 100% free. Super useful in rally, but we're going to go ahead and load in to this South African raceway about 0.66 miles, and it is raining. Back-to-back trial by fires. But let's go ahead and explain the rules of Rallycross for those that don't know. As you can see right there, all 20 entrants compete against each other in groups of 5 to set the fastest time possible, scoring points based on their performance in each qualifier. The top 12 drivers after 4 qualifiers progress to the semifinals. So even though we are racing in groups of 5, you ideally want to go as fast as possible. Even if you're first in your stint, you want to win.
If you miss it, we'll get a time penalty.
And if y'all, I did cut him off a little there, but yes, in Rallycross there's something called a joker lap. We're going to have to take that once per race, but we're running out of time. I want to do some live commentary, so I'll explain that in a second. We got the red lights, and we go on the green. That was actually a great start by us for our first race. I'm surprised I didn't jump that. We're going to go hard charging into 6th gear into this first turn. And oh wait, there's nobody else here. Get pranked. Y'all thought I was going to hop into the race first try? No. We're going to go ahead and practice. And as you can see, things are going pretty rough right now. But just take a look at the dynamics of this car compared to the car from the first episode. This thing absolutely rips through the gears. Much faster, a lot more shifting. And that's something we're going to have to account for, that much faster acceleration. And a lightweight front-wheel drive car, you are going to see a lot of understeer this episode. You thought it was bad last episode. We're in a high-power car. It weighs less, which you would think would help, but not necessarily. And it's raining. So this is going to be a wild one. As you see, we're hard charging. We've never driven this track in our lives, so we're going to take a lot of these corners very slow at first. Coming into our first actual flying lap, we've got a basic understanding for the track. We're going to go hard on the brakes into this first initial hairpin, swing it wide because it connects into a chicane. So you want to come in straight, try to keep your speed, and we understeer pretty bad there. Still getting used to the track. Thank God this isn't the race. Hard charging here after this straight is supposed to be a second chicane, and some foreshadowing here. I had some trouble remembering that this chicane exists. As we take our first joker lap, you'll notice that this is a completely different section of the track that takes longer. I would say 9 out of 10 tracks in Rallycross, the joker lap is longer. So at least one time per race, I will have to take that longer lap. It's a really cool way that Rallycross makes the race interesting. It's something you have to account for. And things like penalties will actually net you an extra joker lap. So you said, I'm surprised I didn't jump the start at the beginning of this race. Well, if I did jump that start, I would have to take a second joker lap in the race, which once things start really getting competitive, that can instantaneously ruin your day and maybe even your race weekend. And you see here, late braking into the second chicane. And like I said, I will forget that chicane exists many times this video. I don't really know what happened, but I didn't get used to that one for a while. But we're coming through on our second flying lap here, and quite a bit more confidence. We're carrying more speed through this back straight. We're going to come into this final chicane here, still hitting the brakes, which is foreshadowing to be sending it later. We got a 46.2. That's our best lap. You heard our co-driver there. We still have a co-driver, kind of. There's nobody else in the car with us. There's a spotter outside of the car. And we get into the race, you'll hear him giving us some vital information, like on your left, or if we're exiting the Joker and someone's right next to us, he'll say, careful on your exit. Super useful that he's there. Coming down into this back chicane again. Actually used a little bit of handbrake to get the car turned in there, and it did not matter because we understeered into the mud, and those poles were not as easy to break as I thought they were. And I said, you know what? Smashing it into a pole is a perfect segue. We're ready. We're going to go ahead and look at our practice results. Our best lap was a 46.2. Best Joker lap, I believe, was a mid 49. And look at that. Our car is just not having a good time already. Thank God the repairs are free. It is going to take 8 out of our 30 minutes. And unlike regular rally where you only have certain stages to repair your car, you get to repair your car after every race in Rallycross, which is very useful because things get pretty bumpy. I'm going to go ahead and low into our first race in here. And we're going to keep it going with the live commentary this entire time. So if I have any voice cracks, y'all are going to hear it. Buckle up and get ready. But we got us lined up here, and look at this.
Avoid contact after start. You need to play the long game here.
You heard that, guys. We're going to play the long game. Not really. We're just going to try and send it and see what happens. Starting on the far left here. Want to get this steering wheel cam. Look to our right. We see the people. The lights go off. Gonna hold our revs. Almost jumped it. You heard the revs jump. This is a long red light, and there we go. Try to drag out that first gear. Guy on our right gets a fantastic start. We're about third place, fourth place coming into this turn. But we're going to go late on the brakes to try and set it along the outside here. Third place now. Try and slot in, do the cut back on the inside. Hard braking into this chicane. We're going to try and cut that guy off in the back. Make contact with the guy in front, send him wide. And we're going to use that to try and accelerate past him here. We go around his outside. Back on the asphalt now. It's going to let us brake later into the chicane. Get on the brakes. I don't hear a call that anyone's on my right, so I just send it into that turn. No contact. And we are clean through into first. Quite a start by us. We had a pretty rough start off the line, but we already made up positions. And remember what I said in the first video, the difficulty is lower until you win. And you'll see that these guys are still right on me. So Rallycross is only going to get more insane, carrying a lot more speed through this final chicane here, and we are now on lap 2. 51-second lap time, nothing near our personal best. And our spotter says we're pulling away, which we love to hear. But look at that in the top right. 4th and 5th place have already taken their Joker laps. Meaning that if I mess up and I've yet to take mine, there's a chance they can still pass me. So Rallycross is ever-changing. You're pretty much in it until the very end unless you fail or you forget the chicanes exist. Right there, I just did not get the car slowed down in time. Really bad entry there, and I lost quite a bit of time. Look in our rear view mirror. You see 2 people right behind us, and I said, all right, we got to take the Joker. We need to know where we lie. And early stages into this race, I still don't have that racing line for the Joker set at all. You see I take that turn very wide, and coming out of the Joker, I am down into 3rd place, level with that guy, get a better exit. This guy cuts me off, did not want me to pass at all, kills my momentum into this chicane, and now we're going to fight for first. Hard braking. He gets squirrely on the entrance. Rain messes him up. I stay wide. We're going to power back right behind him. It looks like he was able to save it. And I get contact from the inside. Did not know that guy was next to me. He shoves me wide. And again, now, this is where Rallycross is. Intense close action racing. Nobody cares about bumping into you. This guy cuts me off from passing yet again, and I just bully him out of the way. We're having none of that. He ends up getting a switch back on me as I had to hit my handbrake, and now we are still fighting for first place at the end of this lap, and you see the rain. There is just no grip here. I handbrake into this turn to get the car turned in so I can get on the power earlier, and look at that difference in speed. He tries to cut me off again, and we just shove our way right past him. Our exit was too good to let that go, and now we're really sending it through that back chicane. Almost 90 miles an hour coming into there, hard braking into the hairpin. Final lap, and you see we got a 46 something, a 46.8, so we're getting close to our best one in practice, and I hit the handbrake coming into that turn for some reason. I don't know if I thought I was Ken Block or what, but that was not the move. Going over the hill here. Windshield wipers going crazy. We're picking up the speed. Hard braking. We remember the chicane exists. And for the first time... Yeah, they're dropping back. But for the first time, we got decent line through that chicane, only to just absolutely crawl through this final section. It is muddy. I promise y'all I'm not that bad, but when you're in the simulator, you can feel the car, and there is no grip. Coming into the final lap of Qualifier 1, keeping a lot more speed through this final chicane, and there it is. 3 minutes and 14 seconds. Almost 3:15. Keanu loves it. That's a thumbs up. Now let's go ahead and see where we stand as far as everybody else. First place in our heat, by quite a few seconds, but 5th place overall. So we have got some time to make up going into qualifying 2. And I hope that y'all are starting to understand a little bit how these qualifiers work. Remember, there are 4 that dictate who makes it into the semifinals. So we placed first, we were top 5, and all of the top 5 finishers race in the same heat together. So the best of the best are racing together. The ones that finish lower race together, allowing you to hopefully get some good time. And like I said, Rallycross is ever changing. You always have a chance. So we're going to go ahead and load into qualifying 2 here. Looks like we need to do some repairs on the vehicle. So far, nothing internally, just some light body work, but it's only going to take 3 minutes, and it's free. I'm going to slap that on there, keep the sponsors happy. And let's go ahead and load into the second race here. See if we can do a little bit better than 5th, as we're not okay with 5th. We live by the moniker, if you ain't first, you're last. And look at that, race A, a disqualification for some reason. That's one less guy we got to beat. And look at our teammate over there on the right-hand side. I don't know if y'all saw him. Keanu's going to adjust the chin strap. We're going to get locked in here. Hand firm on the handbrake. And let's get ready. Lights go up. Hold the revs. Hopefully not as long as last time. Green light. Decent reaction time from us. Again, dragging out that first gear. And it would seem our starts are not up to par as these other racers, as they are just flying past us. 5th place into the first corner. A lot of people on our right side. They got rubbing up in front of us. Sends that guy wide. We're going to try and park it in the middle. Hard on the brakes as that guy shoots back across. We don't know if he knew he was there or not. We got our teammate right in front of us. There's a lot of damage here. 2 people swing out wide. I'm going to get hard on the gas because I knew I had my line. Accelerate past 2 people right here. Hard braking into this chicane. I'm going to be right here in 3rd place. We know we've got a guy on our right here. I cut that chicane by quite a bit. Guy cuts me off as I try to get past him, so we're just going to slot in here to 3rd place, try and focus on our racing line. The see in our rear mirror, we got people right behind us. The pack is very tight right now. Get in the power early to get better speed out of this corner, and it works quite well. But again, these guys are having none of it with the overtakes. They fight hard. We're going to carry some speed through this final chicane here. Try to speed around this guy, hard on the brakes, try to take him on the outside is the plan. We know he's there on our right. We can see him right there in front of us. And are we going to go for a switchback? We tried it, but we didn't get on the brakes early enough. But you can see we unsettled his car, and we go ahead and get the switchback on this chicane. Hard out of that one. A lot of speed down the straight. We're catching up to this guy, and now we're fighting for 2nd. 1 down, 1 to go. And look at that. Another yellow jacket. We're going to go ahead and take the Joker lap. I tend to like getting those out of the way early so that I know exactly where I stand as far as the race goes, but everything is subject to change. Still, really bad exit on that Joker lap. We lose so much time there. And it would seem that everybody else took their Joker, which might have actually saved our race, at least as far as the heat goes. We're going to get hard on the power, and we realize how much time we lost there, but we're going to actually do a little bit of overdriving there. Spent way too much time on the gas there, too much power into that last chicane. Now we're going to swing it around this hairpin right here coming into turn 1, try and get the chicane right, and this is the point where you realize, all right, you're 2nd, but the guy in 1st is way ahead. Keep your head down, find your racing line, make up time wherever you can, and there's still a chance to cap him. We got about a lap and a half left coming into this final chicane, or second to last chicane, back into the dirt with no grip, and we see the guy right in front of us, and that's our motivation right there. If you can see him, you can catch him. Shift early, allows us to get on the gas as early as possible coming out of this final section, and we see we haven't taken his Joker, so we know the time can be made. A lot more speed through this final chicane, about 90 miles an hour at the exit. We're almost 3 seconds behind now, back into their hairpin, and we hit the handbrake again for some reason. That might have been an accidental input. Handbrake again, we're feeling really suspiciously like Ken Block, and we are not in the right car for it, as that just triggers oversteer over the hill on the straight once again. 6th gear, hard charging, hard on the brakes, and he is closer. We are still gaining on him despite our mistakes, and we know he has to take his Joker here. We're going to come into this no grip section. We see him going on the outside. He's going to be able to go faster but longer distance. Now, who's going to win? I see this coming, and I think I got to prioritize my exit. Speed is the key. I'm hard on the gas. I look to my left trying to look for him. There he is right there. You see him through the rain, and we're going to be side by side into the chicane, and I'm going to give him space on the inside to not get tapped, but I'm also going to send it, and do we get the win? We do. A 3-minute, 14-second race with the guy right behind us, and look at that. Keanu loves it. We knew he would. First in the heat. Very good race. That's a Rallycross race right there. Now let's go ahead and see how he did compared to everybody else. Still 5th again. Let's hope that doesn't become a trend, but we are going to go ahead and lock in for the 3rd race. All right, Qualifier 3. Let's see what happens. We do have to make some repairs again. You saw some heavy contact in that race, and actually us hitting that pole during the Joker lap messed up our radiator. This repair time is going to take about 13.5 minutes, significantly longer than everything we've seen so far this race. But we're going to go ahead and go into the third one with the goal of making it outside of 5th place. Higher is the only thing we will accept. We saw another disqualification, one less person we got to beat. And we're going to go ahead and lock in here. Third qualifier. We're already finishing 5th twice, puts us in decent position, but one bad race can take us out of the semifinal. One good one can guarantee us a semifinal. There's a lot riding on this one. Lights turn green. We try launching it in second to see if that helps. Car bogs down just a little bit, and you still see a lot of people getting a better launch than us, so second is not the issue. Coming into this first hairpin in last, we're just going to let the race settle in front of us. We're going to hug the outside here, try to go around a couple people, and it does not work. We're going to slot in once again, just find your position. Almost cut that chicane too early, hit the wall. You see 4th place gets a bad exit here. We're going to prioritize ours. Go ahead and go past that guy. You see 3rd place in front of us squirreling a little bit, but we're not going to go for an overtake here. It's not a good idea to just send some of these overtakes sometimes. You can end up ruining you and someone else's race. Remember, you got 4 qualifiers with 4 laps each, so don't ruin it all for one overtake on one lap. But I believe 3rd place took his Joker there, unless I was not paying attention. That's a off-screen overtake, and yes, it is. You see both of them took their Joker, so we're true 3rd place right now. Going to come into this first hairpin on the 2nd lap. Very wide sweeping hairpin. I don't even know if you could call it a hairpin. But we're going to go ahead and slot into 3rd place here. Quite a few gaps between 1st and 2nd. And now we're just focusing on our racing line. You got to make up time here when there's a gap in front of you. Just focus on your own line. You know they're going to hit the brakes. We get better speed down here. But we didn't hit the brakes early enough. We actually drove it into the back of that guy and then tried to get some handbrake to get the car turned in, but we put way too much. And now we've lost quite a bit of time. You see 2nd place takes his Joker. 1st place is up there ahead of us. Back through the no grip section. We're just trying our absolute hardest to get the car turned in, using quite a bit of handbrake to induce that oversteer. Very useful for front wheel drive cars. And we did pass 2nd place on his Joker lap, but that's not really our true position. You see our spotter prediction says we're fighting for 2nd because he's right behind us, but we're not okay with 2nd. We're going for 1st. We're going to hard brake into this first turn here. We take very different racing lines, but I'm prioritizing entrance into the chicane, and I actually got it pretty wrong there. Again, trying to fight the understeer, as you'd say. Get a better exit than this guy. He cuts all the way across the track. He does not want to get out this position. We go into the dirt. We do not care. If you no longer go for a gap that exists, you are no longer a racing driver. That's Ayrton Senna right there. We're going to go ahead and take our Joker lap, and we're going to see if 2nd place or 1st place follows us. It looks like he didn't. We're going to swing it wide so that we can go around this and then get on the gas early, not hitting this outside wall. That's probably the best Joker line we've taken. You can see we're going to come out in 3rd place. 2nd place does not want us to go around. He cuts us off the track again. Oh, really kept it going through that chicane there. Almost hit the wall, but we kept it together. And you can see people do not want us to pass them. They really like their positions in these races, which not the smartest move. Everybody's going for time, so we should be helping each other. But, you know, if they want to play dirty, we'll play dirty and just drive right around them. We're going to go ahead and go for 1st place here. Coming down this 2nd straight. And look at this. We're just going to kind of keep our patience, keep our distance, and make sure that we know that he's going to go around because we knew he had to take his Joker. No use in fighting that guy and losing time when he's going to get out from in front of us. Go through the no grip section one last time. You see my hand moving like that. That's me just love tapping the handbrake over and over again, but it has to do an animation. That's why it looks a little funny. High speed down this final section through the final chicane. Try to keep our speed up about 90 miles an hour in 3 minutes and 10 seconds. That's about 4.5 seconds faster than our previous race, if I believe so. Keanu loves it. Let's see if we did better than 5th place. We got 1st in our heat again. And 2nd, that is a great result. We only lost out to the Brazilian. Very close to 3rd place as well. And we're looking good going into qualifier 4. Unless we severely mess up here, it looks like we are a shoo-in for the semifinal, which would be a great way to start our very first Rallycross race. Let's see how Q4 goes. Load in the repair one more time. We actually have 0 repairs necessary this time around. Very useful. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the event progress going into qualifying 4, and we are in 1st. So it turns out those 5th places were not as bad as I thought they were. This grid hasn't been very locked. Everyone's finishing in different positions every race, and we are currently tied for 1st place with the Mexican driver, E. Flores. Let's hope that we do not lose out to him. We want to qualify 1st purely for bragging rights and for the points. whatever position you qualify in for the semifinal dictates how many points you get before the semifinal race even happens. So if we can qualify first here, even if we absolutely bin it on the first lap of the semifinal, we already made points this weekend, which is huge. We're going to get ready for the lights here. We can't see them through our car, but luckily we've got them on our screen. And I'm going to try a low rev launch this time. We're really trying to figure out our launch, and that was probably the worst one yet. We just could not get our launches in the rain right. We're going to do what we've done every race, just let it unfold in front of us. We're going to lock in here to the first turn in third place instead of fifth, so maybe not that bad of a start. Try to take the inside on second place as he swings wide, and he's right there on our left. We're going to give him space on the chicane, not cut him off. We don't want to be rude. And look at that, slot in right here, get second, cuts across the track, and wow, this Clio is having absolute none of it. None of it. We're going to give him a love tap going in. You don't want us to pass. We're going to let you know that we're here. And he swings it wide, and we say, you know what, screw it. We're going to take the Joker lap one. That way we can just focus on our racing line for the rest of the race. Swing it wide on this last turn. You want to hug that chicane. A little bit less confidence, but we're hard on the throttle, and look at the charge we get coming out. Clear our right, nobody's there, and we are in second place after the Joker because everybody else took it. And oh, look at that. A little love tap of the chicane there, kept a lot of speed there. We might have gotten a puncture. We'll see if we start driving the car differently. It does look like we're going slow. There might be damage on the car, but we're just going to send it until they tell us not to. And there is quite a distance to first place now. We're very lucky to not come away with major damage from hitting that chicane, but it looks like the car is doing all right, and it's not the time to forget that the chicane exists. Qualifier 4 not looking the best for us technique-wise, and we're going to understeer into this wall. Really not having a good day right now. Love tap to handbrake through that final turn right before the final chicane. Pedal to the metal down this back straight. We're going to go as fast as we can. Send it, and you see we're a little bit more temperamental through that chicane. We didn't want to love tap the wall again, but we have gained quite a bit of time. It looks like we're taking that final chicane with a lot more gusto than the AI is. And we're going to slot in behind this guy right here. And it seems that I'm getting a better exit on this chicane. I think I just get on the gas earlier than these guys, and that's a really great passing opportunity for me throughout this weekend. Finally get a good line coming into this chicane and don't understeer into a pole, so we are definitely up right now. Maybe we can make something out of this awful start. Once again through the no grip section, you'll see me just kind of love tapping that handbrake. It looks a little goofy, I know, but it's very useful. Gotta get all the way to the top of the 6 here. We're going to go wide, cut through the middle, try to keep it pinned. About 93 through that chicane that time, so we are definitely getting more confident. That lap time was a 43. I've been keeping track of all of our lap times, but that's way better than what we were setting in practice. And final lap, we're going to see if we can just keep our head down and set a good lap. Looks good so far. We kept decent speed through that chicane all the way down this straight right here. We're going to shift it into second, hard on the brakes because you remember the chicane exists. Dip our tires into the mud a little bit, which unsettles the car on entry, and you see that just messes up our entire line. Lost a lot of speed there. Once again through the no grip section, you'll just see me love tapping that handbrake. We're just going to make sure Operation Yellow Jacket gets through smooth. Hard on the gas for the final time down this back straight into the final chicane. Foot to the floor, lift for a second, back on the gas at 96 miles an hour for a 305. Mr. 305, Pitbull Dale, that is our fastest race. And look at that, Keanu loves it. I would not be surprised if we actually won overall there, despite the pretty rocky first couple laps. And look at that. We won that heat by, was that almost a second? That qualifies us first into the semifinal, and we already get 16 points towards our championship just for finishing first in the qualifiers. So even, like I said, if we've been it coming into this semifinal, we're coming away with something. Now, we're not looking to bin it in the semifinal. We want to win it all. If we can get a grand slam on our first race weekend, it's looking pretty bright. So we're going to go ahead and look at our semifinal group, and now it is no longer 5 people on track, it is 6 people on track, and now we are going to race for position. And all of the qualifiers, you are racing for outright time to determine how many points you get towards the end. Once you're in the semifinal, 6 drivers race for position, and the top 3 drivers will enter the final. So now is the time to play dirty. Every position matters. You really want to fight for third place or better, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and do some minor repairs before we go in, fix the bodywork, keep the sponsors happy, and now we're going to load into our first semifinal. And you'll see something different as soon as we load in. Look at the grid compared to the other races. In the qualifiers, we line up straight line, and this one, we are staggered based on our position. I believe it's 1, 2, 3 get the front row, 4, 5, 6 are on the back row. We're going to try and hold on to first place here. We've got the tighter line. If we get a decent launch here, which we have had trouble doing, we can hold first place into turn 1 and just coast through the end. But let's see what happens. Green light comes on. Get a decent launch, we believe. We didn't let first wrap out that time. We're already ripping through the gears. You see that Clio gets a fantastic start, but other than that, we are in 4th with the inside line, and we are going to try to fight for it, but we go ahead and lose it, and now the race is on. We're going to swing back here, try to assert our dominance to try and keep P2 at the latest. We know he's on our left side. We're going to give him the space, and now it's hard on the gas. We're going to try and get a better exit than that guy. It looks like we did, and now we're hard charging down the back straight into the chicane. We're going to fight for first here. Just head down. It's back and forth between mentalities as the race goes on. And we thought about taking the Joker, dip back inside, figured it wasn't the time. We'd rather just fight for first place here. And look at this. We figured out the method. Love tapping that handbrake through that final section. Really helps the car stop understeering. And look at that exit difference. He can try to cut us off all he wants. We're just going to blow right past him. Absolutely send it through this final sector. And look at that. A 51 off of this stagnant start is a really good lap time. Coming towards the end of turn 1 here, we're going to get it turned in for the chicane. Try to get on the power early. Flick that car into the chicane here. Best way to avoid understeer is to just oversteer so hard that you end up facing the right way anyways, right? We're going to come down this back straight into the chicane. Decent slowdown, decent line early on the gas, and it looks like we are starting to understand this track. It's all coming together right at the end here. I believe when we come back, we will be quite the monster here. As look at this section early on the power. I'm foot to the floor in 4th before we're even going in a straight line. And now it's 6th gear, hard charging through the final chicane, barely lift. Look at that speed through there. Just unbelievable. 41.9. That, I believe, is our fastest lap of the weekend so far. We are absolutely flying. Coming into the end of the first turn, once again into this first chicane. If you want to call it a chicane, it's more like subsequent turns. Just rip that steering wheel, and we are really starting to figure out this front-wheel drive car. If it doesn't want to turn in, we're just going to fight it. Just throw it in and catch it. And it looks like that's working out for us. Hard braking into the chicane once again. Quite a bit of curb. Decide not to take the Joker again and again. Find our line. Get it slowed down. Love tap the handbrake to keep that thing turned in and then just send it on the gas. We're going to outsteer, but we've gotten our angle right to where we can just get close to that wall. Hard charging once again into this final chicane. Barely lift on the gas. Look at the speed carried through here. A 41.8 improvement yet again. And let's go. Let's go. We're going to keep the momentum going into turn 1, into the first subsequent corners. Looks like we're taking this one a little bit slower. We're going to throw it in, then just let the front wheel drive do its thing. We don't care. Over the hill, into this back straight, into this second chicane here. Hard on the brakes. And we locked up a little bit there. You see the car started going straight. Our tires locked up, and we decided a mistake means we take the Joker. A bad lap is going to be a bad lap, and we're just going to go ahead and take that Joker now. There's no one behind us. Try and get swung around here, and that is by far the best line we've taken through that Joker. This is definitely our race. Semifinals came along, and we said we understand it now as we are hard on the gas, lift, and once again, carried too much speed through that final chicane, and we would be very lucky to not have some serious damage right now. We're going to go ahead and... little tap of the handbrake there. The car was understeering, and I felt it was necessary. We're going to try it one more time, and the car does not feel right. You might not tell right now, but the car feels off. Something is off here. You see me a little bit of play in the steering wheel, maybe not too noticeable. We're going to go hard on the brakes, and maybe we've got it dialed back in. Looks like we're back to our normal racing pace. Maybe we were just trying to test out the car once again through the no grip section that we have turned into the grip section through sheer will. Just love tap that handbrake, and we're going to keep it going. And once again, hard charging down this final straight into the final chicane. We'll most likely let off quite a bit here. Yeah. It seemed that we were a little scared, almost oversteered into the first wall, and now it's hard on the brakes. Final time, first turn, sweep it wide as we've been doing. We could actually afford to go wider here. Maybe we'll tell our past self that next time we come here. Once again through the subsequent turns, over the hill, hard charging down the back straight. Now we're going to set ourselves up for the chicane once again. Hard on the brakes, try not to lock up, get it turned in. That's the entrance we're looking for right there. Look at that exit. When you keep that speed, we get to go a lot faster into the no grip section that we have now mastered. And if we keep this up, this might be the best lap that we've had. We'll see. Hard on the gas out of the final turn. Could have been a little faster. We're going to see how it goes. Hard charging. One more time through the final chicane. Get close to the inside wall. Have to correct and love tap the wall again. And yikes. We got very lucky there at the end. That outside wall has messed us up almost twice. But first place is a first place, and we've got 30 minutes to fix anything wrong we did to the car there. We're looking good. Were we lucky? Absolutely. I am astonished that we did not get a puncture on either of those collisions, but hey, God's plan, right? Look at that little hint of the third-person replay here, and it's a good chance for me to ask y'all. You see these little teasers of the third-person replays. I feel like first-person might actually end up being the preferred format for the traditional rally, but when we're racing other people, if you want to see the third-person action replays, feel free to let me know in the comments. I'd love to edit those in, maybe go back and forth. I'll hear what y'all have to say. Like I said, quick repairs before we end this. We did some damage to the gearbox, and that is going to take quite a bit of time. Luckily, we don't have any severe upgrades, and that only took 21 minutes. Our mechanics are on it. One last race, clean-looking car. This is for all the marbles. If we win here, we will have pretty much a perfect weekend as far as placement goes. And look at that, yellow jacket number 2 is right there next to me. And I believe that's who we were fighting for second place. So this guy has been on me the whole time, and I did not know that he was my teammate. But now, team affiliation aside, I want to win. You see me looking at him like that scene in Rush through the rain. We're just looking at each other, and I'm telling him with my eyes, I am going to win. And we're going to hold these reps here one last time. Green light goes out. Let's see if we can maybe get a better start on the final race, and absolutely not. It would seem that starting in the rain is not our thing, but we've made it work so far. 4th place into the first corner, hug our inside line, try to defend that. Don't let him go outside. You kind of see him through the rain there. Breaking into the second turn, and now we're just going to cut across track. We're going to try and assert our position here. It works. Maybe turn that into a better exit. And we decide not to hit that guy. It is the final. We don't want to do anything stupid. Avoid the grass coming into this second chicane, and it looks like we got that overtake done. We went around side that guy, and we make the business decision to take the Joker first lap. It worked well for us on one of the qualifiers, taking that Joker first. We're going to take the handbrake around that corner. We'll see if that nets us a faster lap so far, but we're going to come out of the Joker in 3rd place, already shooting towards 2nd, and he's going to brake check us. He does not want us to get around him. We're going to prioritize that final chicane a lot slower than usual, and we are 3 seconds from 1st place. 2nd place brakes early coming into this turn. We're going to try and hit the switchback as we take it wide. Hard on the brakes, around the inside. We know he's on his left. He's still there. The overtake is not complete. We're going to try and get a better exit out of this turn as we usually do, and you're just going to see that arrow disappear, and he is no longer with us. That is 1 down. 1st place is in front of us by about 2.5 seconds, as you see in the timing board in the top right, and we're going to try and catch him knowing that he has not taken his Joker. If we can catch him before he takes his Joker, we're in, but look at that, messing up a little bit there, understeering into the wall through the final section, just love tapping that handbrake, but yet again, that is going to be our savior throughout this entire series, I promise you. And once again, try to keep speed through the final chicane. I haven't gotten that perfect line yet. I'm either too close or too wide, but we are hunting for it, and we've already cut that gap down to just over a second coming into the first turn. Looks like his line might be a little bit better than mine. I cut it too short. But yet again, we're going to prioritize our exit here as they have not caught on to. And look at the speed difference. He's going to shoot to the side. We're going to shoot to the right side. And now we know what we're going to do. Hard on the brakes. Try to take him in the braking zone. It's exactly what we do on the right side. Get through him and make the chicane. And that is 1st place. He has not even taken his Joker. We are in a fantastic spot right now midway through this race. One more time through the no grip section. And this is quite the line. Early on the gas here. We might actually reach the top 6 before we have to let off for this chicane. Pretty close, and a lot of speed, and oh my goodness, once again, heavy damage. We know that for sure. There's no way we came out of that one unscathed. We lose 1st place there. And look at this, I'm taking this turn with a lot less speed because the car feels off yet again, and this time I don't think it's a feeling. I don't think we have to get used to it. Something feels weird. So we come through this turn, you see 3rd place is right on us, and 1st place is kind of driving away. We're going to see if we can salvage this. Might not be fighting for 1st unless we come up with a miracle. Bad braking into that chicane is, again, the car feels wrong. It feels like it's not stopping. There's a lot of understeer. Look at the speed I had to take through this section. It just not feel right. In 3rd place is knocking on our door. He wants that pass bad. We're going to go ahead and keep him at bay for now. We can floor it down this back straight, try to get our speed back. And the gap is no longer growing, it looks like, but we are not getting any closer either. Try to hold decent speed through the chicane, even though we've got damage. And now the gap is less than a second coming into the braking zone. We'll see if that stays consistent. And maybe the car isn't as damaged as we thought it was. We're holding decent speed now, but not what we've been capable of. Something is wrong. We are pulling away from the car behind, as you heard the co-driver say there. And now, fighting for first, it looks like we're going to be all right. It looks like the race is back on for the overall victory. And let's see what we can do into the no braking zone. I don't like overtaking here because you like to swing through this final corner. If you can make it understeer on the car. It's, like I said, not back to perfect yet. Something is still wrong here. We're going to go ahead and floor it down this back straight for the second to last time coming into the chicane. We're going to cut our speed because we know the car is off. And still close to that second chicane. But look at that. We are still close to first. It looks like we've got that chicane nailed as opposed to these guys. And we're going to try and get a switchback coming into turn 1. He cuts us off. We don't want to hit the wall. There's other time on the track. And look at that switchback. We come into this back straight with a way better exit, and it looks like that is first place yet again on the final lap. We got about 2 to 3 turns to go. Can we hold it? Just get it slowed down and turned in here. Throw it. Try not to understeer. We get close. And now we just have the no grip section in the chicane separating us from us and overall victory. Tap that handbrake. Get that turned in. Excellent exit. And look at this. Yeah, spotter says they're dropping back, and it's looking good, like we're on set for our first overall win. Send it to the chicane. As long as we cross the finish line, we don't care, and that's exactly what we do. That is an overall first place, and look at Keanu. He's surprised he's alive. He might have really sore back tomorrow, but that's what you got to do. And look at that. And there it was. We had a puncture on our front right. That's exactly what it was. Amazed that tire didn't actually pop, and maybe the fact that we were in the mud kind of helped us there. But we got the overall win. And once again, we're going to tease the third-person replays. And that is going to do it. We got our first overall win. Look at us up there on the podium. Operation Yellow Jacket off to a fantastic start. Shout out to the Power Max team. And look at that. C Racing, top of the podium in South Africa. Almost $45,000 netted to the team. Another huge bonus that we can use to maybe look at some contractors. And as you'll see, our rookie season of Rallycross is much shorter than traditional rally. We've only got 3 events in this championship. We've been to South Africa. Next up, we're going to a place in Sweden. I'm not going to try and butcher that. And the Ring in Germany. Man, I really hope foreign people don't watch my content and get mad at me because I am butchering these names. But look at that. First place in the race. Nets us first place in the championship. And that is going to do it. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to stay tuned for the subsequent episodes. And as always, make sure to heel toe that like and subscribe combo. And I will see y'all in the next one.